So, okay, it's time to pull out that old crystal ball, dust it off, take a look at it, shake it up, and look into the future so we can see what the housing market is going to be like in Metro Phoenix in 2023. In this video, we're going to make 5 key predictions for the Phoenix housing market in this coming year. It's must-know information as you move forward with your home search. Hi everyone, I'm Mike Zahn with eXp Realty and Mike Zahn Homes. And if you like this video, then you found a home. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bells so you don't miss anything new, because we post new video content every week. So let's get started with our 2023 Phoenix housing market predictions. So prediction number 1, home sales will decline in 2023. It's no secret that sales have declined in 2022, and depending on who you're listening to or what area of the country you're looking at, they're down anywhere from 16 to 30%. Redfin is projecting a 16% drop in home sales for 2023. I tend to agree with that forecast. U.S. News did a summary of predictions by Redfin, National Association of Realtors, Zillow, Yard Matrix, and Freddie Mac. They came up with a predicted drop of 17.6%, so home sales are likely to drop in 2023, and not by a small amount. If you're a home buyer, this will tilt the market in your favor. Prediction number 2, home inventory will decline. We have to balance the sales decline against inventory, which is what we will examine now. We finished out 2022 with almost 6 times more inventory than we had at the beginning of the year. That's good news. The bad news is that even with that, we'll still have about 20% less inventory than we normally have here in Metro Phoenix. So even though home sales will be dropping, that will be balanced against the lower supply of homes. This will be exacerbated by the drop in new construction. You know, as interest rates have risen and buyers have dropped out of the market, builders have been very conservative and, they've pulled into their shell. The number of housing starts in the U.S., according to U.S. News and World Reports, has dropped by about 23% in the coming year, or that's what they're predicting. This will further reduce our choices, and Phoenix will be no different than the national picture. It's interesting to note, however, that on a local level, inventory has dropped both in November and in December here in Metro Phoenix. So while the volume of home sales is dropping, and that favors the buyers, so too is the level of inventory. That favors the sellers. So this will help offset the drop in sales and help keep prices stronger. Prediction number 3. Mortgage interest rates will decline even further. It seems like every month we hear the Fed is raising rates a half a dozen basis points, or a half a basis point, or 3/4 of a basis point, whatever. They just keep raising the rates, and it's driving people crazy. But what they do in the future is going to depend a lot on inflation, and that'll be the subject of prediction number 4. However, it's important to note, and this is key, mortgage interest rates don't necessarily follow the federal funds rate in lockstep. They don't go up together. Over the last 2 months, the Fed has raised the interest rate 125 basis points. That's 1.25%. But mortgage interest rates have dropped during that time by 0.7%. As of this recording, they're at approximately 6.3% after having peaked at over 7%. So in practical terms, that means that a buyer with a 6.5% interest rate and a $2,500 monthly budget could afford a $384,000 home. But if that rate drops to 5.8%, that same buyer could afford a $406,000 home, almost a $20,000 difference. So when the rates are expected to go in 2023, most forecasts are expecting that interest rates are going to drop. Redfin is predicting rates to drop down to 5.8% by the end of the year. How far it actually drops is going to depend somewhat on inflation in the economy. If inflation moderates faster than expected, we can expect rates to come down even further. On the other hand, if we enter a recession, there's a pretty good chance that interest rates will drop further as well. So bad news for the economy, possibly good news for the interest rates. See the video on my YouTube channel titled Home Loan Nightmare for more information on how that works. But in any case, interest rates are projected to fall in 2023 and fall enough to add about $20,000 to the price of a typical buyer could pay for their home. Or they could reduce their monthly payment. Either way, Either way, it's good for buyers in 2023. However, buyers are going to have to acknowledge that rates just aren't going to return to the 3% level. It was nice while it was here, I know, but they're just not going back there. We may not see that again in our lifetime. We certainly won't see it in the near future. Historically, interest rates are in the 4.5% to 6.5% range. So, that's kind of where we're at right now, kind of the normal range. And we need to get used to that. Hey, if you like this kind of information, then you found a home. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any new content, which we post weekly. Or if you have specific questions about how this impacts you, book a call with us on our Calendly link down below, where you can click or pick the date and the time that works best for you. Let's move on to prediction number 4. Inflation, that ugly thing we've dealt with for the last year, is going to cool in the United States and in Arizona over the coming year. Inflation in Arizona peaked a bit over 12% this year. Ouch, it has been painful for all of us, but it's declined along with the national market in the past few months. That national inflation rate is now at 7.1%. The Fed's tightening is having its desired effect. That said, the St. Louis Fed recently projected that inflation rates are going to moderate to about 3.4% in 2023. I've seen estimates from Goldman Sachs as low as 2.9%, but that's for the core inflation rate. The consumer price index, which we all monitor, is expected to drop to 3.5% at the end of 2023, according to the St. Louis Fed. That's good news for the economy and potentially for interest rate. Prediction number 5, home prices will fall. That's right, this is the one you've been wanting to hear about, but not the news you've been wanting. So having looked at interest rates, inventory, mortgage rates, the obvious question becomes, what's going to happen? First of all, let me say that trying to time the housing market is similar to trying to time the stock market. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's interesting to note that, the most of the media talks about the housing market in terms of whether prices are going to go up or prices are going to go down. But the reality is, over the long term, they go up. So it's a solid investment. And we have to remember that as far as the housing market goes, people buy homes when they need to. Relocation, divorce, death, a new baby. They don't typically try to time it for the highest rate of return they can get. Yes, it's nice to build equity, but the fact is, if you hold on to your home, you're going to be fine. Over time, you're going to build that equity. You buy when you need to, you get the best deal you can, you get the best interest rate you can, and over the years, you'll still make a nice profit. So, back to prices. Where are they headed? Well, if you're a seller, be very happy that the drop in the number of home buyers has been accompanied by a drop in inventory here in Arizona, and that so many people are still moving into this state each and every day. The last numbers I saw showed 210 people a day. 210 people a day moving into Metro Phoenix. These things will moderate the price action here in Arizona. And the experts, well, they're all over the board as far as pricing estimates, and kind of makes you wonder if they're really experts, LOL. As you might imagine, the most optimistic price estimates come from, you guessed it, Realtor-related sites. The National Association of Realtors is one of the highest, and they're projecting almost a 5% price gain in 2023. Two independent organizations, the Zahn Group, which is projecting almost a 5% price decline, and other organizations are projecting price declines as much as 20% in Metro Phoenix. I don't see that happening with the reduced inventory we have, the falling mortgage rates in 2023, people moving into the state, the equity that people have in their homes, which will make it so foreclosures are less likely. I just don't think that kind of a drop is going to happen. I do think it's hard to fight the trend though, and housing affordability has become an issue in Metro Phoenix. So in my estimation, we're going to see prices come down anywhere 4 to 7% in 2023. If we head into a recession, which I think is likely, we actually may see prices start to head up by the end of the year. Why? Because home prices, it's hard to believe, but home sales rather, have increased in 8 out of the last 10 recessions. So unless this recession is anything different, and likely isn't, we probably are going to see home sales rise and therefore prices rise if indeed we go into a recession in 2023. So if you need to buy a home as a buyer, 2023 will be your year. Prices are down, sellers are negotiating, and interest rates are within traditional historical averages. So if you need to buy your home, this isn't a bad time to be doing it. Yes, it may go down a little bit in the coming year, but remember, historically, there's no question that you'll make money if you just keep your home for the next 2 or 3 years. It's highly unlikely you'll lose money over that time period in the market. And as for sellers, it's not bad news either. I personally would sell earlier in the year versus later, because prices are likely to decline between now and then. As of this recording, home prices in Metro Phoenix are still up 12% year over year. And that just may not be the case in 2023 as we go into July or August. So grab your equity while you can. You'll have to wait longer to sell the home because they're just staying on the market longer in this market, and I don't expect that to change. That said, homes are selling. It may just require some time and more negotiation, so be prepared for that. Be ready. It's kind of just like a normal seller's market. Takes a little time to sell the home, got to do some negotiation, but the home sells. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like the information, you found a home here. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss the new content we post every week, or book a discovery call with me in my Calendly link down below. And of course, if you're looking for homes, check out my website right here, which we update every 5 minutes to give you the most up-to-date information right here in the Valley. I'm Mike Zahn with Mike Zahn Homes at eXp Realty, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if so, we'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching.